Please work, come on.
Ryan foul. Charge to number 45 against Dillon. First personal 15 foul on the Islanders. Dylan Foreman checks back in for the Wolverines, replacing Michael Carlson. First personal 16 foul on the Islanders. The basket is good, and Walton will shoot both free throws. personal. 7th team foul. back in. First round, it doesn't go Jordan. Taylor Warner also got good for the Warriors. He replaced the freshman Plato.
Is a rivalry game. They will not settle for a loss here tonight.
Now checking into the game is Jack Coonahan for the Islanders. He gets the ball on the inbounds pass from Jake Shadow, and the ball's immediately stolen from him, but it goes out of bounds off in the hands of Jackson Rezab. Immediately Jack Coonahan put into the game, and he gets the ball stolen away from him. A very high intensity game. That's something that Jack Coonahan has yet to play, and we'll see how he handles it. Getting the ball inside, or getting the ball from in the full court press right now is Caleb Warner, being pressed full court once again. They turn the ball over. Michael Carlson steals the pass intended for Will Taylor. He goes to the line, or he goes to the basket, and he gets fouled in the backcourt. Another steal and another point opportunity for the Wolverines off of the full court press. That's really what they have to be doing all game long.
Yeah, right there, Gavin Cree once again not happy. Looked like a blatant push. Will Taylor pushed into the front row, it looked like, from here. And then a controversial borderline foul called on Caleb Warner, a ticky-tack foul. So really, these officials haven't really been very consistent so far in this second half, and they're going to need to be, and that is Warner's fourth foul, so some foul trouble. That's probably what Gavin Cree is not happy about, because he needs Caleb Warner in the game right now. These are critical minutes that he cannot miss. We said in the Juanita game he had foul trouble. Interlake, he also had foul trouble. Wasn't an issue then, but we said that this can't happen in close games, and that's what's happening tonight, and it is a huge issue that he's going to need to get worked out.
Right now, the Islanders kind of have to go into their deep bench now with the foul trouble. They have Jack Coonahan. On the floor. That's one of the issues with the foul trouble. Only two starters on the floor right now, I believe, for the Islanders. Will Taylor gets the ball over to Daniel Sims, open for a three. That's up no good. He's 0 for 2 from the net, from the floor. An interesting fact is that's the most field goals he's attempted in the game, just 2. He's definitely a player who looks to create more often than he actually scores for himself. The rebound will go off the hands of Jack Walton, though, and the Islanders will regain possession. Nordale will inbound right in front of his huge fan section. He will try to get the ball inside to probably Joe Rasmussen, who's the leading scorer. He hasn't scored, though, yet in this third quarter. He has 17 on the game. We'll see if he can score in this third quarter finally. The ball is stolen away as the Daniel Sims intended to get a pass to Jack Coonahan, and Michael Carlson trips in the backcourt, and they're going to call that a foul on Daniel Sims. Daniel Sims is not happy with that, as I also didn't see a trip there either. An interesting call. It will result in a couple free throws for Michael Carlson.
Yeah, once again, Gavin Cree is fired up at these officials. he needs to be careful. He's walking on thin ice right now. A little more talking with these officials could get him teed up. But again, I didn't agree with that. A foul right there. It looked like both players were going for the ball, and Daniel Sims got his legs caught up, and one of the players went down, and unfortunately that was the Bellevue player. A foul called on Mercer Island. So again, I don't know what kind of game these officials are calling, because they're letting things go in the post, but yet they're calling these things and then they're missing some fouls. So really they're going to need to be more consistent if this game ends up being close.
They did not call that an open lane foul, though, so the Wolverines did inbound the ball. It did not result in free throws. Michael Carlson then had a mid-range jumper open. He airballed it. The rebound went out of bounds off the hands of Timmy Hale, and the Islanders will get the ball back. Rather, Jackson Rezab was the one who went off the hands off. Now Daniel Sims gets the ball in the corner. He pump fakes Lexington to take it and gives it over to Nick Nordell at the top of the key. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. He's being worked on by Jackson Rezab. Will Taylor spots up for three, but Nick Nordell cannot find him. Instead, he gets it over to in-and-out Joe Rasmussen for a mid-range jumper. That's up and good. He now has 19 points on the game. 19 of those 49 points, 30 points coming from players not named Joe Rasmussen in this game. Nonetheless, the score is 49-36. The Islanders lead. Bringing the ball up the floor for the Wolverines is Rezab. He hands it back over to Hale, who will reset the offense, being guarded by Taylor. 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Jack Walton gets the ball at the top of the key. He tries to get it down low inside to Timmy Hale. He does, and he'll go up for mid-range jumper. They'll call another foul on Will Taylor. This is becoming what was really a physical game in the first half. The officials are now starting to call it a much more tight game. That's already the 7th foul on the Islanders, and it wasn't a very hard one either.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of inconsistent games from officials. Probably the Bellarmine game was the worst. You saw Gavin Creed get upset in that one. He's upset here, talking to the official once again, disagreeing with his calls. And quite frankly, Luke, I haven't agreed with all of the calls by these officials tonight. Very inconsistent. We've seen too much inconsistent officiating this season. That's something that really needs to be straightened out, because the Islanders can't keep having run-ins with inconsistent officials, because it really does affect the quality of the gameplay.
Now, the Wolverines are only 10 of 19 from the free throw line. That's not a very good stat.
And Michael Carlson, not the best ball handler, so the Islanders really step up the pressure when he's on the ball, because they know that they're likely to create some turnovers when he is in possession.
11 total turnovers on the game from the Wolverines, so only 4 from players not Michael Carlson. Now bringing the ball up the floor for the Islanders will be Caleb Warner. Caleb Warner being guarded in the full court by 1-2-1-1 zone pressure. He gets it up to Max Tilden. Tilden there's only 15 seconds left to go in the third quarter, so the Islanders will play for the last shot. Rather, Nick Nordell drives to the free throw line, and he can't pass up that wide open look. He puts his free throw length shot up and in. The score is now 51-37. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Timmy Hale will have to try a desperation full court shot. He elects not to do so. And the Islanders will walk into the fourth quarter with a 14-point lead. We'll be back with the rest of the fourth quarter after this. You're listening to Islander Basketball on Hot Jams Radio.
Thank you for listening to Mercer Island.
Welcome back to Mercer Island High School. The Islanders currently lead 51-37 with 8 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, as it is just the beginning of the fourth quarter. Inbounding the ball will be Foreman. Kyle Foreman's brother, Dylan Foreman, will be the one inbounding the ball for the Wolverines. Kyle Foreman is out with a broken hand. Kyle Foreman is the starting point guard for this Wolverines team, and he's only a sophomore, so a lot of good years in the future coming from him. He just is unable to play tonight. Foreman gets the ball over to Carlson. Carlson now over to Timmy Hale in the left wing. Gets it back up top to Rezab at the top of the key, being worked on by Nordell. Enough to reset the offense. Now there's only 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Timmy Hale being worked on by Will Taylor, hands it off to Carlson. Rather, he gets the ball back from Carlson, now driving baseline. He gets it over to Carlson. 10 seconds left on the shot clock, working on Max Tilden. Max Tilden gets the ball, and he tips it away into the hands of Will Taylor. A steal by Max Tilden, and the Islanders now bring the ball up the floor. Tilden has a mid-range jumper now. He puts that up. Air ball, no good. The rebound is tipped around and brought down finally by Dylan Foreman. Now, the Islanders had a chance to get on that rebound. They also had another defensive rebound there, and they're really winning right now in the offensive rebound category. What do you think has led to the Islanders doing such a good job in the rebounding margin so far in this game?
Well, I think it's just Joe Rasmussen. He has been a one-man machine against Bellevue on the post, both with his scoring and rebounding. His offensive rebounding, probably what has been most impressive tonight. It led to over 10, double digits in second chance points. So definitely a great showing from Joe Rasmussen in all aspects of his game.
Timmy Hale gets a steal from Jake Shadow. He drives to the basket, gets fouled, and one. The score is now 51-39. He has a chance to make it an 11-point game as Timmy Hale will go to the line to shoot one free throw. That's already the 8th foul in the half and just 9 minutes played in the second half. The Islanders are at a high foul rate so far. That's something that's been a problem for the Islanders so far all year. That's really been their Achilles heel, getting in foul trouble, and it's really plaguing them right now. The free throw by Timmy Hale is up and good. A timeout will be called by the Bellevue Wolverines. We'll take a quick timeout as well. You're listening to Islander Basketball on Hot Jams Radio.
One station. What up? This is Jay-Z.
You're good.
Can you get
On Hot Jams Radio.
Welcome back to Mercer Island High School, where the Islanders currently lead over the rival, the Bellevue Wolverines. The score is 51-40 with 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Bring the ball up the floor for the Islanders is Joe Rasmussen. He is fouled in the backcourt. That'll be the 5th foul on the Wolverines, so they still have one to give before every foul will result in free throws, which is not very good for them, actually, as they'd want to be up around 6 fouls right now, because they could be in the situation where they'd want to foul to stop time and have a chance to walk away with the Islanders not scoring in every possession. Fouls could really aid them right now. Jake Shadow streaks wide open in the backcourt, but no one found him. He was wide open for a lay-in, but the pressure being run by the Wolverines did not allow Max Tilden to see Jake Shadow wide open under the basket. He will eventually get the ball, but now he is covered by Timmy Hale. He gets fouled, and now that'll be the 6th foul on the Wolverines, so every foul from now on in this game will result in free throws. Nordale inbounding the ball. He tries to get it down low to Rasmussen. He does. Rasmussen driving on Jack Walton goes up with the lane. That's up, no good. The rebound is brought down by Tilden. They'll call a loose ball foul on the Wolverines, and now all of a sudden 2 free throws will be coming up for the Islanders. One and one rather. Maybe I was the one that made that happen. I said that the Wolverines had a lot of fouls to give. Right when I say that, in about 10 seconds, bang, there's 7 fouls. Max Tilden at the line shooting 1 and 1.
Yeah, and for the Wolverines, luckily Max Tilden, not one of the better free throw shooters, although he is a capable free throw shooter. But Bellevue, again, with the full court press, they might have to lay off that for a while because they would run the risk of further fouls, which could look to hurt them and send Mercer Island to the free throw line even more, something that they don't want to do. But again, more ticky-tack fouls being called by the officials, as that last one didn't look like anything too bad.
Max Tilden missed his free throw, though, so the Wolverines walk away free. And now Jack Walton bring the ball up the floor for the Wolverines, gets it down low to Timmy Hale. Timmy Hale misses his lane, gets his own rebound, and he goes up and he's fouled by Will Taylor. Will Taylor wanted the clean foul. Another soft foul down low. The officiating has really shifted. It's a tale of two halves for officiating. Started off really physical, letting him play. Now it's really soft, not letting anything go.
Yeah, and in a close game like this, calling fouls is good, but not too much like this. We're seeing way too many fouls. Based on what we saw in the first half, this is not something that you would expect. If the officials want to call this kind of game, they really have to do that from the tip-off, and they haven't done that. You can't start calling these kind of fouls late in the game, and I think that's why Gavin Cree is so upset. If they had been calling these fouls both ways all game long, it probably would be a different story.
It might be somewhat confusing to the players that there's been such a soft game all of a sudden in the second half. They thought they could play, and now the officials won't let them. Now the score is only a 9-point game. The score is 51-42. Bring the ball up before Shadow. He gets it over to Will Taylor. He has an open three. He likes not to take it. Makes the extra pass for a 3 to Nordale. That's up, no good. Rebound, tip down to Rezab. 3-on-2 are the numbers. Carlson bring the ball up before, kicks it out to Rezab for a 3. He likes not to take it. Numbers are no longer in the favor of the Wolverines. It now goes back to 5-on-5. Resetting the offense will be Timmy Hale. He tries to get it over to Rezab, but it's stolen away by Will Taylor. Will Taylor goes up the lane. He is fouled hard. A good block, but the rebound is brought down by In-N-Out Joe. He puts that up and in. Now he breaks 20 points, 21 points. 20 points is a big scoring game for Joe Rasmussen. He breaks that now with about 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. The score is 53-42. Now on the other end, Jack Walton goes up, gets 2 points of his own. That will be, I believe, 8 points for him. He's encroaching the 10-point game, but the battle down low has definitely been won by Joe Rasmussen. We'll see how the score. The Islanders are currently up 53-44. They will inbound in the backcourt. A full court press will be run by the Bellevue Wolverines. I believe that looks like a full court. Are they going to run man-to-man? I believe they will. And Inbounding the ball for the Islanders will be Nick Nordale. The score is 53-44. Once again, Luke Munger here alongside Brady Baker. Nordale inbounding the ball for the Islanders, tries to get it over to Shadow. He cannot, so he has to get it over to Rasmussen. Rasmussen being double teamed, gets it over to Nick Nordale, but a really not very strong foul called again in the backcourt. That'll be 1-1 for Joe Rasmussen. But what do you think has led to the pace change in fouls? So not necessarily pace change, but type of fouls being called change in this last half of the game.
You know, Luke, to be honest, I have no idea. I did not see a foul on that last play. Very inconsistent. It's almost it's not even fun to watch anymore because it's impossible to tell what's a foul and what is not. There's really no clear line being drawn saying this is as far as you can go. You're seeing different levels on each possession, which, you know, really takes away from the quality of play that we are seeing right now. I think it is interesting. Jack Walton and Joe Rasmussen, I was expecting a battle down on the post here in the fourth quarter. Jack Walton, though, when Bellevue is on offense, Jack Walton playing up closer to the top of the key near the free throw line.
Both free throws are good by Joe Rasmussen. He now has 23 points in the game. But like you said, a lot of fouls called in the second half. 17 fouls in the second half in just 10.5 minutes of play. A really, really slow second half. A three up from Timmy Hale's up and good. Speaking of fouls, a foul called after the shot. 3 shots on the way from Timmy Hale. That's also the 10th foul on the Islanders in the half. 10 fouls in 10.5 minutes. Not very good numbers from the Islanders.
Yeah, and that foul was not a good foul to take, as it looked like that was a clear foul, not a controversial one, but you never want to foul a three-point shooter and send him to the line from when they rise up from beyond the arc. You never want to give a team 3 free throws.
Now that free throw, Timmy Hale makes the Islanders pay for the first free throw, he doesn't, as it lips in and out. It looked in to me, but it was no good. He lips out the second one too. He does not look happy with himself right now. The Islanders keep up 55-44. The ratio of that is 5-4. The Islanders have 125% of the points of what the Wolverines have. 25% more than what the Wolverines have as well. Now, the third free throw on the way from Hale is up and finally good. The score is now 55-45. Bring the ball up the floor will be Nick Nordale. Nordale bring the ball up the floor in a full court press. Has nowhere to go, so he gives it over to Shadow. Shadow had the wide open three. He missed Taylor, who was wide open for 3. Will Taylor wanted it. The whole fan section groaned as they saw how wide open he was. Shadow does not make the pass, though. The Islanders look like they might chew out a little clock. Rather, Caleb Warner driving baseline, misses his mid-range jumper with about 20 seconds left on the shot clock, but the rebound is pulled down by Will Taylor. A good hustle play by the Islanders will reset the shot clock, and they have another chance to pull out as much time as they want. The clock is their friend right now. Will Taylor has the ball, and he gives it over to Jake Shadow, who's going to drive baseline. A tic-tac foul called again on the perimeter. That's 19 fouls in the first, I believe, 11 minutes of the second half. A really, really, really slow second half so far.
Yeah, Luke, it blows my mind that these officials just aren't letting these guys play in such a heated rivalry, a close game right now, and really it's taking away from the accomplishments that these players are having on the floor. That foul was off the ball, and it was really not a good foul for Bellevue to take. If I was on the floor right now, or if I was coaching, I would tell my players to be very conservative on the defensive end, given the way that this second half is being called.
The free throw's up and no good by Shadow. The first end of the 1-and-1 is up and no good. Now Land is put up by Jack Walton. The score is now 55-47. The Islanders are only up 8 points now. The Wolverines are slowly climbing back. This is not the time you want to let the Wolverines back into the game. Shadow has the ball being triple teamed in the corner and finally gets it over to Joe Rasmussen before a timeout. But before that happens, a timeout is called by Gavin Cree. We'll take a quick timeout as well. You're listening to Islander Basketball on Hot Jams Radio.
Thank you for listening.
More, go to RadioHeardHere.com.
Brought to you by the radio industry and this station. To remind you that radio is heard here. Radio is heard everywhere.
I'm Jake. Okay, you hear that? You're listening to Islanders Basketball on Hot Jams Radio.
Welcome back to Ed Peppel Gymnasium at Mercer Island High School. The Islanders currently lead 55-47. Once again, Luke Munger here alongside Brady Baker. We'll be bringing you the rest of the action of this fourth quarter. The score, once again, 55-47, 4.5 minutes left to play in the game. Joe Rasmussen gets the ball at the top of the key, being guarded by Walton. He has the ball stolen away from him, but he regains possession. Being triple teamed, he gets fouled on the baseline. That'll be the 10th foul on the Wolverines, so he'll have 2 free throws coming up. I agree with that foul. Now Rasmussen has 2 free throws on the way. He has a chance to bring it back to 10 points. A 10-point lead by the Islanders, and he has a chance to make it 25 points in the game. Now that's the 4th foul also on Carlson, so that could play a big role later on in the game, as Carlson has 6 points. 6 points, those all came in the first quarter, so he's been a non-factor so far in the second half of the game.
Yeah, Carlson, a very talented player. I would look for him to step up if this game becomes close, but it looks like he's going to have to miss some action here with picking up his 4th foul. Right now, it looks like the burden of this lead is going to fall on Jack Walton. He's going to have to lead his team to victory if they hope to come back. Jack Walton, the best player from on this Bellevue squad. He was on this varsity team a year ago with his brother. His brother was a very good player last year. Jack Walton and Cole Walton last year. The brothers Walton. That was very impressive. They were a very impressive dynamic duo last year. Jack Walton could follow in his brother's footsteps and play Division I basketball as well.
Both free throws were good by Joe Rasmussen. Now Quinn Bernard bringing the ball up the floor for the Wolverines. Stepped out of bounds, and the Islanders will regain possession. Up 57-47. Back up 10 points with 4 minutes and 25 seconds left. Jake Schall gets the ball, being guarded by Timmy Hale. He'll reset the offense for the Islanders, probably looking to chew off a little time in this clock before taking a shot. Caleb Warner drives baseline, and he will go up with the lay-in. Once again, Caleb Warner takes a shot early on in the shot clock when they should be preserving time. But the rebound goes down to Joe Rasmussen. He puts his lay-in up and in. That's 27 points in the game, and a very important game also. The score is now 59-47. An MVP chant comes from the Islanders fan section. They love Joe Rasmussen here. Jack Walton driving to the baseline, passes it back outside to Dylan Foreman. Foreman passes it outside to Hale, who will reset the offense for the Wolverines. It's interesting to see that the Wolverines are taking more times on their possessions than the Islanders are. Hale driving to the basket, misses his land, no good. The rebound goes down to Jack Walton, but I believe he stepped out of bounds. Yes, he did. And the Islanders will regain possession with 3 minutes and 46 seconds left to go. They're up 59-47. How do the Islanders make sure that the Wolverines do not come back in this game?
Well, it starts with Joe Rasmussen and Jack Walton. Jack Walton has been shut down here as of late. He's not really playing down on the post for a look that was open initially, but then the Islanders rotated and shut that down immediately. So great defense from the Islanders.
Now Jake Schall will bring the ball up the floor for the Islanders. We'll see if they finally try to take a little time off the clock. It doesn't look like the players seem to realize that the time is their friend. Now Caleb Warner forcing up another shot with 25 seconds left. This time he gets it to fall, though. The score is now 61-47. The Islanders break the 60-point barrier. That's 9 for Warner. That ties 9 with as well as Caleb Warner. No, as well as Jake Schall. The leading scorer of the game, though, is Joe Rasmussen with 27. He has 3 times that. Driving to the basket is Jack Walton. He puts his lane up and in and one as well. He'll go to the free throw line to try to make it to try to put it back to an 11-point lead. The Islanders currently are an 11-point game. The Islanders are currently up 12 points. The score is 61-49. That's finally 10 points for Jack Walton. Only 2 players for the Wolverines have more than 10 points, but finally Jack Walton is starting to play with a little bit of a sense of urgency.
Yeah, and Jack Walton finally stepping up here. I was expecting him to have a huge night. He usually has a huge night for this Wolverine squad. They need him to have huge nights, as he is probably their best scoring option.
The free throw of the and one is up and good by Walton. The rebound goes to Caleb Warner. Now Caleb Warner brings the ball up the floor for the Islanders. He breaks the press and pulls up for a mid-range jumper. That's up and good. That is now 63-50 for the Islanders. Or the Islanders lead. That's 10 points. That's 11 points in the game for Caleb Warner. A mid-range jumper is up and no good by Jack Walton. Rebound goes down to Joe Rasmussen. Rasmussen gets it over to Caleb Warner. Nick Nordale. Nordale brings the ball up the floor, gets it ahead to Warner. Warner loses control of the ball. That will go out of bounds off of the Islanders. The Islanders up 60-50 are playing a really fast-paced game when they really should be using time, I think, in this game. There's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. They have a 13-point lead. The time is their friend, or the clock is their friend, rather.
Yeah, I agree, Luke. And Gavin Cree should be communicating that with his team, but it doesn't seem like they're getting the message.
Jackson, a pass is stolen on the inbound by Caleb Warner. Rather, Nick Nordale, he puts his lane up and in, but running a fast break is Timmy Hale. He gets it up ahead to Jack Walton, who puts a dunk up and in. He now has 15 points onto the game. A timeout will be called by the Wolverines. We'll take a quick timeout as well. You're listening to Islander Basketball on Hot Jams Radio.
Jams Radio and
have the ball. They're about to inbound under their own basket. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left on the shot clock. We'll see if they finally take time the time that they have in the shot clock, the 35 seconds they are allotted. Bring the ball up the floor is Shadow for the Islanders. He shakes Timmy Hale and gets around him up into the front court. Now no 10-second violation to worry about. Shadow driving to the basket. They're going to call a 5-second violation, though, on Jake Shadow. It looks like he might have been advancing the ball. Nonetheless, it is called the violation, and the Islanders turn the ball over. 2 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. The Islanders lead by 13 points. Do you see the Wolverines climbing back into this game?
It's definitely a possibility, Luke. I wouldn't count them out of this one yet. Comeback is certainly a possibility right now. It looks like Bellevue is going to play hard and hope that they can get this comeback.
Now driving to the basket is Dylan Foreman. He misses his land. No good. The rebound is brought down by in and out Joe Rasmussen. He gives it over to Jake Shadow. Does a nice behind the back move to get around his defender. He'll pull the ball back out wisely. He'll elect to use as much time as he can. Being guarded by Timmy Hale, he drives to the basket, splitting more defenders, showing his dribbling talents. He passes over to Will Taylor for a mid-range jumper. That's good. No good. The rebound brought down by Timmy Hale. It looks like the Islanders fan section is already predicting the outcome of the game as they're chanting it's all over. But the Wolverines will not play like it as Dylan Foreman driving to the basket is fouled. He'll have 2 free throws coming on the way.
That's 5 fouls for Caleb Warner. He is now fouled out of this game. Going down to the wire if this one ends up being close, if Bellevue makes some sort of a miracle comeback, which certainly is not out of the realm of possibilities. That could really hurt the Islanders. Caleb Warner, a talented defender, as well as Bellevue is a good 3-point shooting team. And if they do put it up, Jack Walton capable of grabbing those offensive rebounds. We haven't seen it tonight, but if he turns it on here, he could outdo Joe Rasmussen down there on the post. That could be a huge battle at the end of this game.
The first free throw is up and no good by Foreman. The second free throw is also up and no good. The rebound brought down by Joe Rasmussen. That has to be around 15 free throws in this game by Rasmussen. Rather, 16 free throws brought down by Rasmussen in the game to go with his 27 points. A really good game so far on both the rebounding and scoring ends from Joe Rasmussen. A good defensive performance as well. Just an overall great night. A timeout will be called by the Wolverines. We'll take a quick timeout as well. You're listening to Islander Basketball on Hot Jams Radio.
You hear that? You're good.
Now that's interesting. The other official closer to the Islanders bench granted a timeout. However, there is only 24 seconds on the shot clock right now, or when they inbounded it. So that would be 11 seconds, more than a 10-second call. So an interesting call there. I'm not sure if I agree with that one.
Nonetheless, there will be a foul in the backcourt as the Islanders are granted possession again. Kind of get a freebie, and it will result in 2 free throws as Jake Shadow's fouled in the backcourt. He'll have a chance to make this a 15-point game, which I think would definitely put this game out of reach.
Yeah, definitely, Luke. It's getting close to the point where you can put this one in the win column for the Islanders. That will improve their record to 11-1. A very impressive start for the Islanders. One of their best starts over the last decade. This Islanders team looks like one of the stronger teams over the last decade. And this 11-1 start really proves that. Their only loss coming in overtime, 62-61 to St. John's Jesuit of Ohio. They did have Mark Loving, who we mentioned earlier. He had 36 points in that game. So really that was their only loss. And they did fight really hard in that one.
One of the free throws is made by Jake Shadow. That brings him to 10 points in the game. The rebound is brought down by Jack Walton. Bringing the ball up the floor for the Wolverines is Carlson. He tries to get it down low to Walton, but it is no good. But it is stolen away by Joe Rasmussen. He has 27 points on the game as well as 16 rebounds, and now a steal to go with that. He's had a really good game. Another foul by Dylan Foreman, an unnecessary foul, as it doesn't look like there's any possibility for the Wolverines to climb back in this one as they are up 14 points. As the Islanders are up 14 points, the score is 66-52 with 48 seconds left to go in the game. Jake Shadow will have a chance to shoot 2 free throws to bring it to a 16-point game and have 12 points in the game if he converts.
Yeah, Luke, this game definitely out of reach at this point. 14 points with 14-point deficit for Bellevue. Too much to overcome with under a minute left as Jake Shadow looks to extend the lead. But this game tonight was a very impressive showing from this Islanders team against Bellevue, who is probably the second best team in KingCo behind the Islanders. So for the Islanders to show that they can win against Bellevue in this fashion not necessarily a close game, not a blowout, one of those tweener games that is kind of in between those two. Really proves that this team is worthy of winning the Kinco Championship.
Both free throws are both free throws are no good by Jake Shattle, and a lay-in by Timmy Hale's up and good. The Islanders up 66-54. It looks like Jake Shattle will just dribble the rest of the ball out, and the Islanders won this game by 12. An interesting fact is the Islanders haven't won a Kinco matchup by less than 10 points. Every game has been 10 points or more. The Islanders have just dominated this Kinco league so far. Dribbling the ball out will be Nick Nordale, and the Islanders look like they will cap off a 66-54 victory with the starting guard for the Islanders dribbling the clock out, and he does. That'll be the end of the game. We'll be back with stats and analysis after this. You're listening to Islander Basketball.